Hey guys, I'm gonna show you how to very easily edit some gameplay videos on Adobe Premiere Pro. This is the way I use it, so it should be pretty easy to understand because I don't do too many crazy things on here. I just use really the basic tools, and you already have a lot of the video files and you just gotta piece them together, which is a lot easier than it looks. So let me just get it started. Actually, yeah, once you start Adobe Premiere Pro, I recommend you get CS6, which is the version I have. All you have to do is just open it up, and if you have anything recent, it'll show up here. If you want to open anything specific, just click this button, but I'm just gonna hit New Project. Name your project, find the place you want to save it, and usually I use this preset. If it doesn't meet your clip settings, it'll change them, so don't worry about that. But you do want to get something that's 1080p 30 frames a second, so I usually use this one. So this is Adobe Premiere Pro. Just to kind of give an overview, this is the sequence that has your final project that plays through here, which is connected to this sequence down here. And this would be where the videos you want to edit come up. You know, the clips you want to take out of certain, films and whatnot. And this is where you store all your videos and stuff, kind of like your library. Here are the tools. I just use the selection tool and the razor tool. You don't really need to use anything else. Other things just are for, helping. The effects, we have audio transitions, video effects, and video transitions. I'll kind of show some things you can do there. You really don't need to mess with those that much. The video effects are pretty basic things, just blurs and color corrections. I really don't use them that much in here. I use that more in After Effects because they give you more options there. And that's pretty much it, honestly. You have the audio mixer, which kind of helps you edit your audio levels. So they work in accordance to these. You see 1, 2, 3 right here. And it maybe one layer is being too loud, you just lower it, and you just kind of play it through to see if it matches everything else. Well, you generally want to have them at the same audio level, so one thing doesn't blast it while the one thing is really quiet. But let's import some gameplay stuff so I can just show you the process. So the first thing I always import are the intro and the outro, which you should have the files for. If you don't, I'll put them in the description. And here they are. If you double click them, you'll see they'll come up here. And you just use spacebar to play it. Cool. And this is the outro one. So I need to get the actual gameplay. So let me just find it. Just a random one I can mess with. I guess I can use whatever this one is. Nothing. Awesome. I'll use this Halo one. Yeah, since gameplay files can be pretty big, it'll take a little while for them to import. And you see this yellow bar down here in the bottom right. Wait for that to finish before you start doing anything, just because you can if you start playing it, messing with it, you'll have like some video that's not loaded or some audio that's not loaded, and that will just kind of throw you off. So pretty much you just scrub through the video using this tool, and you can kind of control it using the play button. This is frame by frame. This kind of sends you to different markers you have in the video. You can add little things here if you want to find your spot, but usually I don't really use that. So this bar right here is the zoom tool. So if you know that you kind of want like something like right there, but it's kind of hard to maneuver with this, big video, and you're just kind of like trying to find that little spot. Just grab one of the edges of these and drag it in, and you'll see you have more room to work with. Okay, and then if you want to kind of go through the video, you can just click and drag it, but generally you know what you want out of the clip. And let's say you have a really long clip that has a lot of extra space in it that you don't need. What you do is you find the parts that you want. Let's say we just want this part of him getting in the car and just walking out of it like there. Okay, if this is where we want to start it, like right here, we use this tool, the mark in, to start it. As you see, it has this blue bar that marks the rest of the video from the point we made. And then you find where you want to end it and hit the mark out, and you see it highlighted that area we just selected. And then now we want to put that into the sequence here. We click and hold the video and drag it down, and as you see, they're going into different layers here. See, they have the video 3, audio 3, video 2, and then audio 1, video 1. Usually you want to start working from the first layer up, and this is what comes up in case your sequence isn't the right settings. Just change sequence settings so it matches your clips. And now you'll see it starts moving on the right side because this is your final project. This one's what the movie's actually going to look like. So it's good to know how, what you're doing. So make sure you have all the things you need in there. Kind of same controls as up here. Just use spacebar to play it. You can use the left and right arrow keys to go frame by frame, which is actually pretty helpful in case you're trying to find a certain area. And you can also use your scroll bar to scroll around here, and it has that same zoom bar, so in case you want to get in closer. There's different audio things that if you want to expand on it, you just click that arrow, and you can see some of the waves there, where it gets loud, where it gets quiet. And that's pretty much how you just layer things up. Let's say we wanted a different one. I'm just doing that for time's sake. I don't really care. Let me zoom out. You just click and drag it, and you don't want to overlap it or else it'll erase what's underneath it. So usually each video thing I have, I put it in a new layer. So you'll see it changed right there to that screen. And you can see what I just did. In case you want to shrink a clip or expand it or extend it, just use these little red arrows to push it for however far you want it. And then let me just try that again. Let's say you wanted it a little bit farther, maybe to where he does that. What you do is, you extend it a little further, and then find where you want to end it again, and just click it and drag it to this timeline indicator, and things usually snap into place, and that makes it really easy. So just make sure you're on the right, the right area. And you probably won't be needing to do all that because that's kind of like really complicated stuff, but you should mess around with it if you want to, get better at doing all like the mixing and whatnot. But let me just kind of show you the process I go through. First, I always put in the intro. Let me zoom in. As you can see, it's already all edited and stuff, which is nice. And then I just grab the whole gameplay. Oh, whoops. Remember, we have it shrunk down. We want to do here and over here with the whole gameplay. And since we're not overlapping the video, it's just going to come right after this intro, we can just throw it on the same layer. And if you want to get rid of unnecessary space, just right click it and hit ripple delete. And that'll just snap it to the clip before it. So as you see, it very seamlessly just statics to our gameplay. And then this is our outro. I just throw that at the end. Again, it'll just snap on. And since our Let's Plays, we generally like to let them run on. We don't like to cut them up or anything. Fucking Mark. Just find a good place to end it. And let's say we want to end it like right after that. You can either use the cut tool, which can split clips up at wherever you want to, split it up. You can, don't ever do that though, because it's confusing as fucking hell to figure out what clips go where. So usually just use the scrubber to help you, because I think if you cut near the scrubber, it'll just automatically snap to where it is. So what we do is after we cut it, we pretty much make a new clip right here. See, it's separate from that one. You can just delete it and ripple delete to snap it back, or Control Z, or we can just, this is before I cut it, you can just grab the end of the gameplay and just drag it to wherever you want to, wherever you want to end it. And then ripple delete. So yeah, that's pretty much the basic if you want to upload a gameplay. In case you want to shred off any ending parts, that's how you do it. You just, either you can just drag it in, or you can cut it and then delete the leftovers. Remember, this is using the razor tool. And remember, you zoom in using this stuff. And that's pretty much the basics of Adobe Premiere and how I use it to, edit our gameplays. Oh, another good thing to mention is making sure the audio levels are even. So as you see, the intro is at a good level. But this halo is kind of loud. It's a little bit loud. So what we can do is we can drag this audio part into a new layer, into a different audio layer. So the video is in video 1, but the audio is in its own separate layer. And then we can go into the audio mixer, and as you see in audio 2, this is where the elemental flying thing's at. And then the halo one's a little bit louder, so we can just drag it down a little bit. So yeah, it's a little bit better. Make sure it matches up with that. It's pretty good. And that's kind of how I do it. You can also use this, see this little yellow line here, in case you don't want to add more room to another layer. You can click that little yellow line. I find it gets pretty difficult to do that though, because they only give you small increments to decrease the volume by or increase it. So you just want to bring it down maybe to like -3 or 5. So yeah, that kind of works too, but it's still kind of hard in case you want to get it back to where it was. That's why I just like using the audio mixer. New layer. Audio mixer it down a little bit. And that's good. Oh, and make sure whenever you're done with your video, just use this gray tool up top here. Make sure it's at the beginning of your video, so you can kind of grab it. Just make sure it's at the beginning, and make sure it ends at the end. Because that's the part that's going to be exported. Because if you just leave it open like that, you'll have all this black space and just like black video. That'll just be there for however long you leave it out there. Alright, so once we're done, you hit File, Export Media. We're ready to go. Here's what I export with. I find it to be the best compressing with the best quality, but it does still produce some pretty big files because it is HD gameplay, but you just have to deal with that. Go to H.264, and what I do is I make my own preset. I'll tell you how to do that. What you do is you go down here. Maybe you want to make this a little bit bigger. Change it to 1920. Whoops. I want to change it to 1920. Info frame rate for this level. What? Oh, okay. Sorry, I forgot about that. First, go to 1080p 29.7. So yeah, 1920 by 1080p. You got that there already. That's using this preset. But next, I push it to 30. Keep all this stuff the same, that's fine. But I make the target bitrate 10, and I make the maximum 20, because we don't need any more than that. The higher this is, the bigger the video file is going to be. Remember that. It sucks. Let's make sure I got all that right. Oops. Oh, whoops. Alright. That's right. When you're exporting, make sure you have the sequence selected, or else you're going to export something random that's in here. So you have the sequence selected, you hit Export Media. And then, now we can go H.264, go down to 1080p, and then make sure that's there, push that to 30, make this 10, make this 20. As you see, 310 megabytes, that's not too bad for a 4-minute video. Audio, this is good. Oh, whoops, I changed that by accident. There you go, that's good. And then you just hit save. And you can just call this whatever you want. I'm going to call it. Alright. Now you can just always have that selected whenever you do it and save you some time. This is where you want to save it and what you want to name it. And then you just hit export and it'll encode it. So that's pretty much how you do it. And this was a very quick run through and not very detailed. So I apologize on that. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll try to get back to you. But thanks for watching.